Hi everyone, today we're going to review how to solve multi-step equations. I'm going to use the quick switch method here. That doesn't mean that you have to use this method. I just like showing this one because it tends to be a little quicker and a little bit easier for some people. But if you want to go with the standard method of solving an equation, please go right ahead and do so. I just like showing alternate methods. Alright, so steps for multi-step equations, so quick switch method. First, and this is the first step for solving any equation. If there's parentheses, you have to use the distributive property. That's a must. And when we do that, we look at distributing anything that's on the left side of the equal sign and distribute anything on the right side of the equal sign. So sometimes you will have parentheses on both sides, and so you'll need to make sure that you take care of both of those. Our second step is where we get into the quick switch. All right, so now, quick switch just tells us that we're going to get all of our variable terms to the left and all of our constant terms to the right. And then once we do that, our third step is to simplify. And then our fourth step is to divide, if necessary. We're not always going to have to divide in that last step, but every once in a while we will. All right, so let's take a look at some examples. We have 4 quick examples that we're going to go through. So I always like to start with drawing that line through my equal sign. That's always my first favorite step to start with. And that's kind of extra important, especially with the quick switch. All right, so now I notice parentheses. So my first step is to figure out what's directly touching the parentheses. And it happens to be that 4. And that 4 is a positive 4. So I'm going to distribute the positive 4. Right, and I'm also going to bring down my 2b. So I'll bring down my 2b. And now I'm going to do 4 times negative b. So I'm not going to bring the plus sign down. I'm doing 4 times negative b, which gives me a negative 4b. Now I'm going to do 4 times 3, and that gives me a positive 12. Bring down my equal sign, and then my negative 5. Alright, so now's where my quick switch comes in. So I want all my variables on the left, all my constants on the right. So my variables. So I've got 2b as a variable, and negative 4b as a variable, and that's it. Everything else are constants. So 12 is a constant, and negative 5 is a constant. All right, so my variables. Well, all my variables are already on the left. That makes my life a whole lot easier. So I'm just going to bring down my 2b minus 4b. All right, now's where my quick switch comes into play. So quick switch says that this 12 needs to get over to the right side. So I'm going to quickly switch it over. But remember, when I move something across that equal sign, I have to do the opposite operation. So if it's plus 12 here, to move it over, I actually have to subtract 12. So I'm going to put minus 12 here. And then I'm just going to cross it off of here because I've used it. Now this minus 5, well, he's already on the right side. I don't need to worry about him or changing him. I'm just going to bring him down. And then finally I can just simplify. So now I can combine these two here. So 2b minus 4b is going to give me a negative 2b. And then I can do negative 12 minus 5, which is going to give me a negative 17. And then our last step, finally, is just to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. And we end up with b equals, that's going to give us 8.5. And it's positive because I have a negative divided by a negative. All right, let's try another one here. So, once again, I'm going to draw my trusty little line. And I've got parentheses, and I've got a negative sitting outside, but that's it. Just a negative. So what's actually there? Well, don't forget, we have that invisible 1 that's sitting there. So there's actually a negative 1 sitting in front of these parentheses. So that's what I have to distribute. All right, so I'm going to bring down my 7. Negative 1 times 3b. Well, that's easy. That's just negative 3b. Here's where we always make our mistake. That minus sign in front of the 15 tells me that 15 is negative. So I'm doing a negative 1 times a negative 15. Two negatives make a positive. And then I can bring down my plus 4v. Alright, so now I've done that. So now I'm going to take a look at my variables and constants. Alright, so I'm going to look for variables, because remember I want my variables to the left and my constants to the right. So I don't have any variables here. I've got a variable here, and I've got a variable here. Alright, so my variables, I want to quickly switch them over to the left. Alright, so when I do that, I'm going to take that minus 3v and I'm going to actually add it over to this side, so that it becomes positive. I'm going to quickly switch my plus 4v to the other side by subtracting. So I'm just going to cross them off. So I'm going to subtract my 4v to this side, cross them off. Alright, now I can quick switch my constants. So I've got a 7, and I've got a plus 15. Alright, well the plus 15 is already here, so I can just bring him there. It doesn't really matter if I quick switch that 7 over first or I bring my 15 down first, it doesn't matter. Alright, but now that 7, I'm going to quick switch it over by subtracting 7. So I'm just going to put minus 7. Quick switched it, done. Alright, now we can go ahead and simplify. So 3v minus 4v gives me negative 1v. And then 15 minus 7 will give me 8. And then our last step is going to be divide. Divide both sides by negative 1. V equals negative 8. Okay, well that's not too bad. Let's take a look at the next two, where we start with variables on both sides. So those first two examples didn't have any variable, they only have variables on one side. Now we're going to look at more involved equations, where we end up with variables on both sides. But guess what? The process is exactly the same. And that's why I like the quick switch method, because it doesn't matter. It's the exact same process. So I'm going to start with where my parentheses are. And I've got parentheses, so I have to distribute first. And pay attention to that 3 because there's a minus sign in front of it, which means that it's a negative 3. Alright, so my negative 5n, the one for the n, comes down. Negative 3 times n gives me negative 3n. Alright, watch out for that minus 2, that means negative 2. So negative 3 times negative 2 gives me a positive 6. Remember, no double signs. No double signs. Alright, there's no parentheses over here, so I can just bring this down. Alright, now I'm going to do my quick switch. So again, I want variables on the left, constants on the right. So I'm going to search first for my variables, because I like to integrate them first. Okay, so here's all my variables. Alright, so if I want variables on the left, well, I already have the negative 10. So I'm just going to bring him down. Negative 10. And I left myself some space because I knew these guys were going to come down. So I have a negative 5n. So to quickly switch it over, I just have to add 5n. So you always have to do the inverse operation. Go. I've got a negative 3n, so I'm going to add 3n to this side. Go. And now we can quick switch any constants. Remember, constants are those terms without variables. So 6 is a constant, and 6 is a constant. Alright, well I want my constants on this side. This 6 is already there. I'm just going to bring him down. This 6 needs to come over to here. So I'm going to quick switch. He's positive, he's plus, so I have to subtract him. Always do the inverse. And I'm going to cross him over. Now I can go ahead and simplify. So I end up with, let's see, negative 10 plus 5 is negative 2. I'm sorry, negative 5. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. I'm kind of went a little bit ahead of my brain. Alright, and now we can simplify the other side. 6 minus 6 gives us 0. Alright, now let's do our last step. Divide. The nice thing about the quick switch method is it doesn't matter how many terms there are. I'm always going to be able to do this in the same number of steps. That's the one nice thing about the quick switch method versus the standard method. In the standard method, the more terms you have, the more work you have to do. Quick switch, it's always the same. Distribute, quick switch, combine, divide. 4 steps every single time. 3 if there's no division. Alright, one more, and then we are done. And hopefully this review has been a good one for you. Alright, so here we go. So once again, I've got parentheses here, and I have parentheses here. So I got parentheses on both sides this time. Alright, so the number that is directly in front, a lot of people want to go to that 5. It's not the 5. Alright, so I got that minus sign. It's actually just touching. What do we say about minus signs touching the parentheses? That's right, it's a 1. It's actually a 1. So that's what I have to distribute. Alright, my 5's going to come down. Alright, distribute the negative 1 to the 2x. So negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x. And then negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. And now, and over here, I'm going to distribute the 2 times 4x is 8x. And 2 times negative 3 is a negative 6. Alright, quick switch time. So again, I want my variables on the left and my constants on the right. So I'm going to search for variables first. So negative 2x and 8x. Always make sure you include the sign right in front of it. Alright, so variables. Well, that's already on the left side, so you can just come down. That was easy. Alright, my 8x is positive, so to bring them across the line, I now have to subtract it. Close them out. This is my reminder that I did that already. Alright, now I'm going to deal with my constants. Remember, constants are the terms with no variable. So I have the 5, the negative 1, and the negative 6. Alright, I want my constants on the right. That negative 6 is already there. Alright, now I gotta quick switch this 5 over. He's positive, so I'm going to subtract it. Always the opposite, always the inverse. And then I'm going to quick switch my negative 1. So he's negative, so I'm going to do the inverse, and I'm going to add it. And then I'm just going to throw my equal sign back in front, in between, because I like having that there. Alright, now I can combine. Right, these two here combine to make negative 10x. And then negative 6 minus 5 plus 1. Well, negative 6 minus 5 is going to give me negative 11. Negative 11 plus 1 gives me negative 10. And finally we can divide. Both sides are negative 10. X equals positive 1. And then we're done. So if you guys don't have a calculator at home, I mean, most of you guys have a phone, so you have access to a calculator. The computers have built-in calculators. But I highly recommend you guys getting used to using the Desmos Scientific Calculator. I posted up in class for you guys to utilize, but I highly recommend you guys use that because it is very, very useful. And when you go to Algebra 1 next year, you're going to start utilizing it a lot more. Alright, well that's it for our notes. Short and sweet, I hope, 4 quick problems. Make sure that once you are finished with your notes and you feel comfortable, you go ahead and do the practice task and then the e-part task once you feel like you got the skill down. And I will see you guys in class next week. Bye!